Hi there. Today we're going to learn how to graph in 4 quadrants. You already know how to graph in the first quadrant where there's positive and positive numbers, but today we're going to learn how to graph in all 4 quadrants. So, the coordinate system includes points above, below, to the right, and to the left of the origin. So if you can recall, the origin was 0, 0. So if we start at 0, you have points above, below, to the left, to the right. The numbers to the left of 0 are negative, so to the left of 0. The numbers to the right of 0 are positive. The numbers above 0 are positive. The numbers below 0 are negative. And here, recall that a point graphed on the coordinate system has an x-coordinate and a y-coordinate. The dot at the ordered pair, -2, -3, is the graph of point T. In other words, we went 2 to the left, -2, and 3 down, -3. So here's our first example. Write the ordered pair that names each point. So point J is over here. We start at 0. We go across first because that's where the x-coordinate tells us to go. So here we go 1, 2, 3, 4. We went across 4 spaces to the left, which makes it -4. And then we go 1, 2, 3 spaces down, which makes it -3. So our ordered pair ends up being -4, -3. Now here's L. We go 2 spaces to the right and 2 spaces down. So if we go 2 spaces to the right, it's +2. 2 spaces down is -2. The ordered pair ends up being 2, -2. Got it. So let's try finding where this point is over here, point M. We start at 0. We don't have anywhere to go across first, right? So we're gonna just go up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So since we didn't have anywhere to go across, that x-coordinate is 0. Then we went up 5, so our y-coordinate is 5. So the ordered pair is 0, -5. All right, let's look for K. First, we go across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces to the left and 2 spaces up. So our x-coordinate is at -5 and our y-coordinate is at +2. So our ordered pair ends up being -5, 2. So our quadrants, the x-axis and the y-axis, so the x, y, separate the coordinate plane into 4 regions called quadrants. The quadrants are named 1, 2, 3, and 4. In this quadrant, they're positive, positive, meaning positive, positive. Here you go negative, positive. Here you go negative, negative. And here you go positive, negative. Graph and label each point in the coordinate plane. Name the quadrant in which each point lies. So for A, in order to find out where A lies, we go 2 spaces to the left because it's -2, and then 4 spaces down, 1, 2, 3, 4, because it's -2, -4. So if you have a negative ordered pair, it's in quadrant 3. So let's look at B, 0, 2. So our x-coordinate is 0. We start at 0. We don't go anywhere across. Our y-coordinate is 2, so we go up 2. So B is 0, 2. Well, point B is not in a quadrant. It is actually on the y-axis. So it's actually on this line right here. This is the y-axis. Make a note, the axes and points on the axes are not located in any of the quadrants. In other words, if I asked you what quadrant is point B located in, you would tell me that it's not located in a quadrant. It's on that y-axis. All right, example 3. You can show relationships between 2 numbers. The difference between John and Terry's golf score is 2. If X represents John's score and Y represents Terry's score, make a table of possible values for X and Y. Graph the ordered pairs and describe the graph. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make up a rule that comes with this word problem. So it says the difference between John and Terry's golf score is 2. So we can make X, John, and Y, Terry, so that the difference between the 2 scores is 2. So let's just start plugging in any points for x. So if I choose 2 for x, 2 minus 2 gets me 0. So in other words, it would work for this rule. 2 minus 0 will get me 2. I need it so that it has a difference of 2, which this does. So 2 minus 0 ends up being 2. And then your ordered pair would then be 2, 0. Now let's choose 1 for x. So 1 minus y is going to get me 2. What's going to make me have a difference of 2? Okay, well, 1 minus 2 gets me negative 1. So my ordered pair would then be 1, negative 1. You can even plug it in. 1 minus negative 1 gets me 2. All right, let's move on. So x, if we made x equals 0, and this y has to be a difference of 2, well, then it's negative 2, and our ordered pair would then be 0, negative 2. Okay, if we make our x be negative 1, if it has a difference of 2, our y is negative 3, and our ordered pair is negative 1, negative 3. And finally, if we make our x negative 2, well, a difference of 2 would end up being negative 4, and our ordered pair would be negative 2, negative 4. So we chose all the values for x and y that have a difference of 2, and then you graph the ordered pairs. I already have them graphed for you. If you want to pause it and just sit there and count, you can. If you see 2, 0, 1, negative 1, 0, negative 2, negative 1, negative 3, negative 2, and negative 4. And then if you have to describe the graph, well, it looks like these points make a line. So the points are along a diagonal line. All right, some concluding thoughts. When you graph, go left or right first, and then up or down. So you go across first and then up or down. There are 4 quadrants starting from the top right and counterclockwise that are labeled from 1, 2, 3, and 4. Notice that these are Roman numerals. And the axes and points on the axes are not located in any of the quadrants. So in other words, if I go back to this slide, 1 starts at the top right and then it goes counterclockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then just remember that any points along here and here along the axes are not in any quadrants. All right, well, I hope you learned how to graph in all 4 quadrants.